house, I'm loading up the pump, I'm loading up the Uzi. I got a couple M16s, a couple 9s, I got a couple joints with some silencers on them. I'm just loading up clips, a couple grenades. Got a missile launcher with a couple, missiles. I'm ready for war.
Acting a fool on swagging a fool. That's how we do on swagging a fool.
Serving the news, giving out all the tea.
It's real live in this WAC. Acting a fool on swagging a fool. That's how we do on swagging a fool.
Serving the news, giving all the tea.
It's real live in this WAC.
A straight fool, yeah, you know how we act. Real news coming straight from the swag. Every week giving y'all the tea. Yeah, John and G. Tell your peeps tune into the real. Then the news ain't real. Sit back, chillin', let's get cool. It's time to watch that swag and a fool. And we officially here. Another episode. Another week. We got J-Max. We got GSPN. We got that. So grab your shakers. Grab your jerseys. Grab your towels. Shout out to Dell, the crazy man on the track. We got Joe on the track. Hey, Jackson State. Grambling State. Alcorn State. Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Prairie View A&M, Mississippi Valley, Texas, Southern Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Florida A&M, Bethune-Cookman, and don't think I ain't forget. We won't. I say, go. Shout out to the mighty Jaguars, man. We back. Swagging the fool. We still swacking and acting. We swacking and we acting, yeah.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Al from Swac'n a Fool, and we here with another interview again today. We got Jaylyn Davis here from Prairie View A&M University, the SWAC champion, Southbound Prairie View A&M Panthers. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's good to have you on. I think you are our first female interviewee on the show, so congratulations on that, the first one, and plenty more to come. So look, we're gonna start off by saying, let's just start off by telling the people, the viewers, about yourself. Where you from, all that good stuff.
Okay. Hey, I'm Jaylyn Davis. I'm from Hardin, Texas, a little small town, kind of 45 minutes from Beaumont. I'll be a senior this coming fall, and I play softball at Prairie View A&M. I'm the third baseman. I major in nutrition with a concentration to be a registered dietitian.
Okay, and with that major, is it kind of hard for you in like your academics and things of that nature?
At the moment, no, not really. It's been pretty smooth since I've gotten to PV and had to kind of like change my major, because when I first came in, I was a bio major, so I had to change that. And it was kind of on the same track of everything. Hardest kind of classes is just like, AMP1, but it's been smooth sailing for the most part.
Okay, and so when did you start playing softball originally?
I originally started playing, I want to say in like 5th grade. Started kind of late, more than what most kids would.
Right.
Kind of doing I was more towards volleyball because like my mom is a Graham alumni. She played volleyball there. So I was more pushed to do volleyball and stuff. So once I kind of figured out what softball was, I ended up doing that. And then I did club volleyball and select softball for, I want to say, about a year or two at the same time. And then mom was kind of like, all right, you kind of want to decide what you're going to do. So figure out what route we're going to take. And then I ended up deciding to do softball, and I've been doing it ever since.
What clubs did you play for, volleyball and softball?
Volleyball, I played with a team out of Humble, Atascocita area called the Outlaws, and then I played select softball from a team in Liberty called the Texas Dirt Divas.
Okay, so going into the next question, can you tell us about your recruiting process coming out of high school, playing club ball, and what schools you had offers from and whatnot?
Coming out of high school, my kind of recruiting process was it was good. You know, you kind of have your ups and downs of recruiting, especially kind of being on the team that I was with. Like you get pushed to see more PWI schools than you do HBCUs.
Mhm.
And especially playing with a team that's like predominantly white, they didn't kind of like they kind of shun away from like HBCUs, which kind of you hate to see, but with that process, most of the schools that I was looking at were PWIs. I mean, I had looks at like TSU. I had an offer from there, but most of the schools were like Minnesota, Lamar, um, stuff like that. Because at the time before, when I came out of high school, I ended up committing to Lamar. So I went
Mhm.
there and played a season there, and I hit the portal. Then I ended up coming here to PV my sophomore year.
Okay, and so that kind of leads into my next question. You started at Lamar. What was your experience there, and what led for you to transfer to PV?
My experience at Lamar was it was an experience. I'll say that the least. I mean, going in there, I met a lot of people, really great people that I'm still cool with and friends with to this day. I went in at the time with two other girls from my team, so I kind of went in knowing, people who I was going to be playing with, kind of being like, all right, maybe I can work this out. Hopefully, these girls I'm going to be meeting aren't going to be too far off, with like the girls I'm playing with now. And at the time, you go like we're all kind of here working for the same goal, so but as time went on, coming home, I think we had a testing coming home for the Christmas break. I ended up pulling my hamstring before we came home. So kind of go through that process of getting that injury, situated as I was at home. Kind of didn't have no personal trainers or trainers like that. So I'm just kind of going with the flow. Got school. It's still kind of like a nagging issue. It's a pulled hamstring
Mhm.
what it is. You kind of got to go through with it. Had that. Coaches were, as coaches are, you have your ups and downs, you know, things like that. And
And this
season
injury, this injury was at Lamar or PV?
this injury was at Lamar.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's like I want to say the reason I hit the portal
Mhm.
them, but there's probably more stuff to it that I personally don't really didn't get the earful of. So
Okay,
they
okay.
didn't really want me to come back. I couldn't argue about it. I mean, I knew kind of going in my gut in that exit meeting. It was hard to like a mouthful and a pill to swallow, but I mean like I knew and I would going in I was kind of like man I called my mom before and I was like ma I really don't think I'll be coming back here. Like I hated to say it but I knew in my gut walking in that office for that exit meeting I was like yeah I don't believe I'll be coming back to this school, but I
Right, right. And
it
I
is
think you're in a better position right now, and I got
absolutely.
some reason why I say that, but we'll talk about it later. But so, what led you to choose PV after leaving Lamar?
um Well, kind of the same way, like during my recruiting process, I ended up taking, I think, an official or unofficial visit at PV at the time. And man, when I tell you I fell in love, I knew from the bottom of my heart when I walked on that campus and I toured that campus, I told my mom, I'm like, Ma, this is where I want to be at. Like, I did, to me, it was at the time, like, I didn't care if I had to be a walk on, if they couldn't give me type of money. Like, I wanted to be at PV. Like, no matter what, I knew in the bottom of my heart. Like, and I have family that are like alumni, so I'm just like, man, like this is where I want to be at. And then just kind of got in contact with him once I got out of once I hit the portal, leaving Lamar. Went there. I mean, came in as a walk on, did what I needed to do.
What stood out at PV that made you just so ecstatic to attend this university?
For me, it definitely was the culture and like how family oriented PV was. Like I even still say this to this day to people that come asking me like, how was your experience there? I'm like, you can walk on campus anywhere, and if you need anything or from a professor or from like a staff member, like they're gonna help you out. That's just like the people and just like the culture of PV. Like they're never gonna just like shun you away from anything. Like if you need something, there's somebody somewhere that's gonna help you out.
So, in my eyes, I think PV has probably the nicest facilities in HBCU athletics.
Yeah.
How big were the facilities when you first saw them in your making your decision to come to PV?
Um, Honestly, I just kind of had to go off like what I knew from when I first took my visit
Hmm.
first time. And I knew like PV had a like nicer facilities. I mean, they were to me. I mean, the facilities didn't really bother me because I knew like their facilities were about like the same as like what I had at Lamar. So I wasn't really too worried about what we had and what we didn't have because I knew at the time like I wanted to go there to play softball. Whether
Hmm.
we had a weight room, didn't have a weight room, had uniforms, had a mismatch, like I didn't care. I knew like in my heart I was going there to make a name for myself and I was going there to play and be there the PVMU softball program for sure.
Okay. So now you get to PV, you play some in 2021,
Hmm.
you get injured in 2022, right?
Yes.
How how did you recover? What was your mental state, and what just helped you? What was that boost for you to get back on the playing field this past year?
For me, um, I knew like I mean, I didn't know honestly when the injury had happened. I didn't know it was as bad as it was. When it happened, I kind of fell, got back, ran across the field because like crazy person, not knowing I had like a gash about this big in my
Huh.
leg, and I have to leave the field and go get staples. I'm like, man, I got a little cleated. We finna put some band-aids on it. I'm getting back on the field. That didn't happen. So really just staying positive and finding and being able to talk to my teammates a lot and talk to the trainers and the coaches and be like just trying to find any slight way that I can still be connected with softball.
Right.
I'm pretty sure like the second day when I got my stitches or my staples put in and we had practice, I showed up to practice. I think we were hitting that day. I sat on I think like a little medicine ball or a little bounce ball we had, and I'm sitting on the tee just hitting. And I just knew like this injury wasn't going to stop me from getting back on the field. I knew like I had to dig down within myself and like still be really humble and grounded to be able to get back on the field. Like it at times it was hard cuz I cried to my mom about it cuz I wasn't
Hmm.
sure how bad this injury could have been cuz I mean, especially when you hear from a doctor and he's like, "You know, you got lucky cuz you go any farther to the right, you
Right.
cut a or you go any farther to the left, you cut a nerve." And it's just like hey man, don't say that. I'm playing. I'm playing. We're gonna get back on the field. If we gotta tape this thing up all the way up to my knee to get me to be back on the field to do something to help my team win and get
Hmm.
back to the flag meet, like I'm gonna do it. So I came in and I just kept working. I was like, I might not be able to field, but I know I can hit. Some way, somehow, I'm gonna hit the ball hard enough, far enough to where I can get on base and we can switch me out. Somebody's gonna come and run. So I did that, and I just kept working, went to training every day, every day, every day, and was finally able to get back on the field full first game. And I mean, I was ecstatic. I was excited. Like,
Okay. So I think you batted what 275 this year, somewhere in that range. What I saw, 6 home runs. How do you feel about your first year back after your injury, and what do you think you need to improve on?
uh, man, first year back to improve, definitely being more consistent hitting wise. I feel like with having that ankle injury, I kind of was real timid at times hitting because I was like, I can't. I feel like I didn't have my legs under me because
Hmm.
like that was my step ankle to get me like get that foot down. It was like I can't really feel like I'm fully getting the foot down. So, it was just like that kind of mental block with hitting and just being more consistent and just being really confident in myself with getting back to hitting and fielding wise. But really that was what I think I really would need to work on for sure.
Okay. Okay, so the year you injured, you guys went in SWAC. Then you backdoor and win it this past year. How was this year as a team? And then just kind of talk about the things you guys did as a team to be back-to-back SWAC champions.
This year to be back to back is like it's really still surreal because of just like everything that we went through this like the fall semester with like having one of our teammates be like get the game taken away from her and
Mhm.
like us not knowing what the outcome was for her, so it was at times it was hard, but at the end of the day we knew like within ourselves that she was our purpose, she was our why. Like we knew like we were playing for her because we knew at the end of the day we had somebody that wanted to be on the field. She came to practices and she came to games when she could, and we knew like at the end of the day she wanted to be able to be on the field with us, but with her situation and what happened, she couldn't. So we made her our reason to like do what we did this season and be able to go back to back for sure.
Okay, and that's good, y'all. Kind of picked y'all teammate up after whatever happened, and seemed like y'all came together for a good cause, and then turned into something good at the end.
Yeah.
So with you guys winning the SWAC championship this year, you all were in the Baton Rouge regional at LSU. Can you talk about you guys playing in the LSU regional, and just kind of talk about the competition you all played against in that regional too?
Going down there, we kind of knew like we're playing, a different level of softball than what we had seen all year. In the swag, we're not seeing girls that are going up there throwing like 67 to 69. Like we knew we didn't have that. So we had to come up with a different kind of game plan to be able to, go in there with a different mindset and be able and compete with them because it's just like it wasn't a level of softball we had seen all year. So we had to turn the gears on for sure. Um I mean, I feel like we it was a learning experience, and I feel like every game is a learning experience. As we kind of were able to see like I wouldn't say see what higher level softball is, but be able to see like how some teams play at a different
Right.
way. They do certain things that maybe we could take from them and implement into our game, or maybe they might have seen something that we did and they might take something from us. But it's always cool to go out and play different competition and be like, oh, okay, well they do maybe this, maybe we could try it. You never really know. You never know.
Okay. So recently we had Deion Sanders at Jackson State. We had the number one player in the country, Travis Hunter, at Jackson State.
Hmm.
Um, we have former NBA player Mo Williams at was at Alabama State at Jackson State. I think Grambling just had one of the top baseball players in Arkansas commit to them. So, what, in your opinion, what do you think schools in the SWAC need to do to attract high quality players like the Travis Hunters, the Shador Sanders, and things of that nature?
I don't really feel like the SWAC like doesn't go out there and like needs to do anything better. I feel like it needs to be like athletes, coaches in a whole to be more open minded to HBCUs. Like I can even kind of take it from like my standpoint of like with my recruiting process. Like I said, like my coaches and like depending on who the coach is and stuff, like they shun away from HBCUs or they always have like some type of comment or something to say, or like a coach comes up and like, hey, I want to see this kid play, and you don't put that kid into play. So it's like how it's kind of like hard for a recruiting coach to go about how they want to recruit a kid if you have a coach or that kid's coach who isn't really open minded to being like, hey, I could get this kid to go to college no matter what this whether it's Big 10, Big 12, Power 5, like stuff like that.
Okay. So, softball is kind of different from baseball, obviously. Do you think do you think a average baseball player could go on the field right now with your team and be successful, or could hit a
I don't know
softball?
how you're trying to do this. I don't know why
in
you're
in my opinion, I wouldn't have no issues with hitting a softball. But hey, you got more experience than me.
going to hit no baseball.
Say it again.
I said, I don't think I would have no issue going to hit baseball.
Hmm. It's just a question because I mean I never been in the batter's box, you know, hitting a softball with it coming at a different angle.
Right.
So I don't know honestly. So I just want your opinion on it.
I mean, I feel like a baseball player, depending on how they do hitting practice and things like that and the way they train, I don't think that they wouldn't be able to come and like touch, if a girl's just throwing a straight fastball down the middle. I mean, if she's not spinning it or anything like that, yeah, they'll probably be able to touch it. But I mean, it'll probably be something they would have to get used to because the like difference of the way there's like the ball's not coming down no more. It's coming from the under angle. You never know if it's gonna go in, out, up or down, or it might
Right.
be slow. So I don't know. I would love to see it. I always want to always aim.
Mm.
Hey, we
Oh,
can feel.
what what's the difference in what's the difference in SWAC softball as a whole compared to any other conferences nationwide who y'all played against?
Um, I would say, like I said, like swag softball, like you said, it's different. Like it was different for me when I first came from Lamar because, yeah, we cheer and, haha and whatever, but like in the swag, they gonna cheer for you, cheer against you, talk good about you, talk bad about you, like, but they mean it in a good way. So I mean, and the girls that like we play against are really some like high, really good, amazing athletes. Like sometimes I'll be looking at them and I'm like, man, that girl's good. Like I'd be like, man, I gotta tip my hat to you because like, yeah, you did it, like for real.
Yeah, and I asked that question because you know, the atmosphere in the SWAC from football to basketball to baseball game is just different from any other conference.
Yeah,
They had the video earlier this year that went viral with the Grambling softball team in the dugout too. So I think SWAC sports in general is just different and more lively and more vocal than any other conference. So
yeah.
that was my reason for that question right there.
It was cool to see their video go viral. I feel like it really kind of opens people's eyes to like how swag softball is.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
When we went to Pine Bluff and we played, like you said, like it's a different atmosphere. Like their baseball team got done playing their game and they coming and like they talking trash, and talking back. But it's just like at the end of the day, it's swag love. Like it's all love. It ain't no bad blood. Ain't
Hmm.
about it. Like it is what it is.
So you going into your senior year, what is your plan? I guess for improvement from last year, and what you plan on doing in off season going into next season.
Definitely getting in the cage a lot more. Want to work on a lot more like fundamentals, like from the ground up for sure, especially so I can get back more solidness with like my lower half since I've had my, laceration and ankle leg injury that I had this year.
Hmm.
But definitely to just like go into the season being confident and definitely being a leader since I'll be a senior this year and kind of like trying to take some of our underclassmen under my wing and kind of show them the ropes of how we do things and how we want to improve and work with within like the year to not only just like win a swag championship but be able to go and like win a regional. Like that's the goal that I have set for my team and myself because like I feel like we're better than just like the winning a swag. Like we can do that with our eyes, but like at some point we got to go out and be like, hey, let's go win a game at a regional, let's go win a regional.
Okay, so Kia got a question. Who you got in the Women's College World Series, and why?
Honestly, my team that I had, they're not playing anymore. But I definitely was rooting for Tennessee for sure. For sure.
Okay.
But right now, but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Florida State could come back and give them a run for their money, but at the end of the day, it's OU. Like they're a solid team.
Solid.
And like you can't, they're such a team that you can't count them out. Like you just never know, especially
Hmm.
one of their one games like years ago. I think they were down to somebody and they just came back and like hit home run after home run after home run and just like walk the game off. And it's just like they're just such a fundamentally like sound team. You just got like you got to tip your hat, be like, yeah, okay, yeah, you got that one. Just you never know. They're so I don't want to say they're unpredictable because like they're predictable, but they're unpredictable at the same time.
Okay, that's good. Um, yeah, Oklahoma is definitely amazing, and I'm about to tune in soon. So, um, I got one last question, I think. So, if you got any young black girls watching right now, what is a message to them if they're interested in getting to where you are and being a collegiate softball player just like you?
Be unapologetically you, for sure. Cause I know when I went through like high school and select ball, getting recruited, like a lot of people kind of shun away from me because of the way that I like hold myself on the field. Like I'm cocky. Like I come off really cocky and kind of like, oh, better than everybody. But I mean, that's just my demeanor on the field. Outside of that, I'm kind of shy. I don't really talk to many people, but definitely go in and be just you and take everything like your coaches say, like take it with a grain of salt. You might not like what they have to say. I promise you they're saying it for the right reason and want to see you become a better player and develop to be a better player, you know. And what else? Always definitely be open minded,
Hmm.
because when I went in, going in my freshman year, I didn't think I would ended up leaving Lamar. I kind of thought that's where I was. I was going to be there for my 4 years and just, you know, go the course of playing softball, go there my 4 years, and then just graduate from there. But like you say, I was open minded. You really have to trust the process because at the end of the day, you never know where you're gonna end up. And as everybody tells me, I ended up where I was supposed to be, and I truly believe that I did end up where I was supposed to be. And always really do your pros and cons of what schools you're going to for sure, because I will say this till I'm blue in the face. You never know. You never know what you're walking into. Definitely, you really never know.
My bad, my phone was ringing. But yeah, I definitely understand. I definitely understand where you're coming from, and listening to coaches and taking criticism. Being in the SWAC or playing in the SWAC, you definitely you gonna have thick skin because I'm sure
Yeah,
we've all heard every word in the book at practice and on the field. So I definitely agree with you. But look, that was my last question. I appreciate you coming on with us tonight. It was a joy to get to know you and some of the fans to get to know you too. And I know you're gonna be preparing for that three-peat coming up next year.
absolutely.
Yeah. So congratulations on this back to back. And you're doing a good job in your studies. Um, y'all out there watching, all your family watching, make sure y'all like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Um, like the video, share the video, get the views up. And make sure y'all support y'all local swag school or y'all favorite swag school. Even MEAC school too. I give him that too. So but this it's your boy Al signing out. We got Jaylyn Davis from PV softball team, back-to-back SWAC champion right here. We signing out. Make sure y'all tune in to our future interviews and future shows. G and J will be on here soon. I know y'all missed them, so be on the lookout for them soon for some football updates and some SWAC news coming up. So peace. I'll see y'all later.